Yes, my friends, we all know the pain of falling short in the playoffs. The Detroit Lions, after a remarkable 15-win season, were poised for a deep postseason run despite battling a mountain of injuries. Unfortunately, that journey was cut short in the divisional round against the Washington Commanders. It was a tough pill to swallow, especially since this was the Lions' first time as the #1 seed in franchise history. But guess what? The Lions are not alone in this kind of setback. Be sure to hit the like button so you don't miss any updates from your favorite team. This helps us keep you informed and brings you more Lions content. Now, let's get right to it. NFL legend and Hall of Fame quarterback Peyton Manning reached out to head coach Dan Campbell with some powerful words of encouragement. Manning, who knows exactly what it's like to have a promising season end abruptly, shared a message that should resonate with every Lions fan out there. He told Campbell, "I know how you feel, I've been there, and it's not a good feeling. Understand that, but we did win the whole thing the next year. You just gotta keep sawing wood." That's coming from a guy who bounced back from heartbreak to lift the Lombardi Trophy. If anyone knows what it takes to get over the hump, it's Peyton Manning. This message highlights something crucial. Expectations for the Detroit Lions are at an all-time high. Gone are the days when just making the playoffs was enough. This team is built to win, and now fans expect nothing less than competing for a Super Bowl year after year. But with expectations comes pressure, and how the Lions respond this offseason will determine their future trajectory. Peyton Manning also pointed out something every Lions fan should think about. He said, "That was the kind of loss that could probably make an organization say, 'Let's change everything. Let's blow the whole thing up and start over.' Or your organization and owner can say, 'Hey, we're doing something right. Let's keep going.' And that right there is the crossroads Detroit faces this offseason. Now, speaking of the offseason, one of the biggest questions is how GM Brad Holmes will approach roster construction. He's made it clear that he won't be a prisoner of the moment, meaning one tough playoff loss isn't going to push him into making desperate decisions. But let's be real, there are gaps on this roster that need to be filled if the Lions want to take that next step. One of the biggest needs? Pass rush. And here's where things get interesting. Myles Garrett, one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, has reportedly requested a trade. However, the Cleveland Browns currently have no plans to move him. But let's be honest, in the NFL, anything can happen. If Garrett truly wants out and the right deal comes along, could the Lions make a move? It would be a blockbuster addition to a defense that desperately needs another elite presence alongside Aiden Hutchinson. That's definitely something to keep an eye on as the offseason unfolds. Now, if Detroit doesn't land a star pass rusher via trade, the NFL draft is another avenue. And speaking of the draft, ESPN's Mel Kiper just dropped a new mock draft, and his pick for the Lions at number 28 overall has a lot of fans talking. He has Detroit selecting UCLA edge rusher Femi Oladejo. Now, this is where things get a little tricky. Oladejo is a guy who has been rising up draft boards, but taking him in the first round, that might be a bit of a reach. Oladejo was originally an off-ball linebacker before transitioning to an edge rusher in 2024. While he's shown flashes, he only racked up 4.5 sacks last season. That's not exactly the kind of production you expect from a first-round pick at such a critical position. However, his tape is solid, and scouts are high on his athleticism. But is that enough to justify taking him over more polished pass rushers? Detroit ran into bad luck in 2024 with an insane number of injuries on defense. They never truly had a dominant number 2 pass rusher opposite Hutchinson. Zadarius Smith had 4 sacks in 8 games after his midseason arrival, but beyond that, the production was thin. If the Lions want to be a championship-caliber team, they can't ignore this issue. Now, let's be clear, Brad Holmes has a history of making smart, calculated moves. A lot of people thought taking Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round last year was a reach, but look how that turned out. So, only time will tell if Oladejo is truly a reach or if he could be a hidden gem. One thing is certain, this offseason is going to be huge for Detroit. So, Lions fans, what do you think? Should the Lions make a big move for a proven star like Myles Garrett? Or should they build through the draft and take a chance on a guy like Oladejo? Do you think Peyton Manning's message will motivate this team to come back stronger next season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's address the big question on everyone's mind. How much will Ben Johnson's departure really impact this offense? Losing Johnson to the Chicago Bears was definitely a blow. There's no hiding that. But let's not forget that the foundation of this offense remains intact. New play caller John Morton will bring his own style to the table, but he won't dismantle what's already working so well for this team. The Lions still have one of the most explosive offenses in the league, and that's not going to change anytime soon. Jared Goff remains under center, and whether you're his biggest fan or his biggest critic, there's no denying that he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Then there's the best running back duo in the league in Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Add in a rising star in Jameson Williams alongside a Monterey St. Brown, and you have one of the most dangerous wide receiver duos in the NFL. And let's not forget Sam Laporta, who has already proven himself to be a top-tier tight end. But what really sets this offense apart is the offensive line. This unit has been dominant, and while some of the veterans are getting up there in age, the Lions have been smart about maintaining their depth and succession planning. The priority remains keeping this line among the league's best, and that's exactly what they're doing. Now, when it comes to ranking offensive cores across the league, the Lions are sitting at number 1 according to Bleacher Report's Maurice Moton. His rankings took into account both the quality and quantity of the key building blocks each team has on offense, and the Lions came out on top. The main reason? Every single one of the key players, Goff, Gibbs, St. Brown, Penei Sewell, and Laporta, have earned either Pro Bowl or All-Pro recognition in the past 2 seasons. That's a level of consistency and excellence that sets them apart from other teams, even powerhouse offenses like the Philadelphia Eagles. And let's talk about age for a second. Other than Goff, all of these core offensive pieces will be 25 years old or younger when the 2025 season kicks off. That means this unit isn't just elite now, it's built to stay elite for years to come. Jameson Williams didn't even make the building blocks list in the rankings, and we all know his potential is sky high. So, while Ben Johnson's departure might have shaken things up a little, this offense is still in great hands. The foundation is set, the talent is here, and Lions fans should feel excited about what's coming in 2025 and beyond. Now, let's switch gears and talk about the Lions stock report as we wrap up the 2024 season. Who's on the rise? Who's on the fall? Let's break it down. First, stock rising, Levi Onwuzurike. This season has been nothing short of a major coup for him. After years of dealing with a career-threatening back injury, he finally put together a promising season. The production was there, and if he can stay healthy and build on that, he could become a key piece for this defense going forward. Stock rising, Carlton Davis III. The Lions took a risk in trading for Davis, but it appears to have paid off. He's been a shutdown cornerback all season and has proven his worth in Aaron Glenn's system. His season-ending absence due to injury was felt hard, and re-signing him should be a priority for Detroit. Stock falling, Broderick Martin. Unfortunately, the Broderick Martin experiment isn't looking too good so far. The Lions drafted him as a raw prospect with high potential, but 2 years later, the progress just isn't there. He's barely seen the field, and when he has, he's struggled. The 2025 season will be a make-or-break season for him. High stock, Trevor Nowask. Talk about an underdog story. Nowask didn't make the Lions or Cardinals rosters initially, but when injuries hit, he stepped in and delivered. He's played a key role on the linebacker unit and has proven that he belongs on this defense. Expect him to compete for a roster spot again in 2025. Low stock, Jalen Reeves-Maybin. After a strong 2023, expectations were high for Reeves-Maybin, but 2024 didn't go as planned. When he was forced into a bigger role due to injuries, things didn't work out well. With a healthy linebacker group next season, he'll likely return to a more limited role. Low stock, Marcus Davenport. Signed to be the opposite answer to Aiden Hutchinson, Davenport simply couldn't stay on the field. An elbow injury in September sidelined him for the season, and his future in Detroit is uncertain. Unless the Lions decide to give him another chance, his time in the Motor City may already be over. Stock raiser, Jake Bates. This guy's story only gets better. He was money in high-pressure situations and hadn't missed a field goal through Thanksgiving. Kicker issues have plagued this team in the past, but Bates looks like a long-term answer. A few quick hitters. Jack Fox has returned to elite status as a punter, earning first-team All-Pro honors. Kirby Joseph led the league in interceptions and should have been a Pro Bowler. And the Lions will need to make some important decisions about defensive depth heading into the offseason. Now, how do you feel about the Lions' offense moving forward without Ben Johnson? Who do you think is the biggest rising star on this team? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Go Lions!